Hi, I'm Renee Green, and welcome to Money Concepts for Life. This is a financial education program to help people have a better understanding about financial products, strategies, and concepts. Today, we plan to discuss the different type of credit and how to establish and maintain credit. We are fortunate to have Mike Wolf with us today. Thank you, Mike, for being with us.
You're welcome. I'm glad to be here.
I am too. So, what are some of the questions that you have about credit?
How should someone start to get credit when they haven't established any credit yet?
Well, first, you'll want to be able to manage your money. Once you have a job and a source of income, you'll want to establish a relationship with a bank or a credit union.
You mean open an account?
Yes, you can open up a checking and savings account on your own as long as you're 18 years of age or older, which you are. Make sure that you get a debit card along with the account and use the card. Make sure that you keep records on your deposits, your checks, debits, and balance a checkbook at least monthly.
I already have a checking and savings account, which I review it online and balance my checking almost daily.
Great, that's a good start. Then the next step to establishing credit is to apply for credit that can be easily obtained.
Now, where would that actually be?
Well, a store credit would be the easiest way to establish credit. There are two types of store credit. One is a revolving line, similar to a credit card, but can be used only to purchase items at that particular store. That would be kind of like a Sears card or even like a gas card.
Oh, well, I've been using my parents' card.
Well, that's a good thing to be doing, but it might be time that you start to establish your own since you are working full time now.
True, but then I would have to pay for it.
Yeah, that's true. But it's the grown up thing to do.
Okay, now what are the other type of store credit?
Well, the other type is an installment credit. This is still a store credit, but is not a revolving line. It can be used to purchase like high price ticket items that might be like furniture or equipment, or maybe even like a refrigerator, washer, dryer, or a driving lawnmower, something like that. And I actually remember when I was establishing credit myself, what I did was my first large purchase was my bedroom furniture. So I went to a furniture store and I picked out exactly what I wanted and everything, and I applied for the credit. And I got approved for the credit, which was just an installment payment of the principal and interest, and it came to maybe $100 a month.
That does sound like an easy way to establish credit. So I could maybe go to a store and purchase a big screen TV and using the store installment credit. Then I could pay that monthly and pay it off as a way to start to establish my credit.
Yeah, if the big screen TV is a priority for you, then yes, I guess that's where you could definitely start. But once you have paid and you considered getting a store credit, you also want to look at other types of credit places, maybe looking at Sears or Macy's or J.C. Penney's, and purchase things that are small item ticket things and then pay that off monthly.
Okay, I will do that.
You might even want to apply and get your own gas card at that time too.
I will think about that too. Now, when can I actually get a Visa or a MasterCard?
Well, after you've established some history with your debit card, the store card, and a store installment account for maybe like 12 months, then consider applying for a credit card. A credit card is just a plastic card issued by a bank that allows the owner or the debtor to make purchases of goods and services. There is a set limit on the amount that you can borrow and purchase, which is called the line of credit, which can be paid back over time by making monthly payments that includes the interest and the principal, or paying it off completely. You can choose either to get the Visa or the MasterCard. They both kind of are about the same, and they are pretty much, you can use them anywhere.
Okay, so basically a credit card is a revolving credit card because you can use it, make a payment, and then use the credit card again.
That's right. And try to get into the habit of using that card wisely, of course, and paying it off monthly. Credit cards are paid monthly, and like I said before, they are consisting of the principal and the interest, unless it is paid off completely within the grace period.
Now, what is a grace period?
All cards and store cards have a grace period, and that's usually 25 to 30 days to pay off the card in full before they start to charge any type of interest.
Okay, I'll try to get a card eventually, then I will pay it off monthly, or try to, without avoiding to pay any interest.
Okay.
I actually have a friend who has a $10,000 balance on a credit card, and he is only able to make the minimum payments.
Oh.
What would his minimum payments actually come out to?
Well, first of all, credit card companies like people like him because they require just about 2% for the monthly payment, which would be about $200 for him. And remember, that consists of the interest and the principal. And the interest on a credit card is always more than a personal loan. I mean, the rates are usually, sometimes you can get an introductory rate of 0%, but they're usually between like 10% and 23%. Do you know what his interest rate is?
He told me that it's around 21%.
Okay. So it's 21%. Well, you can actually go to bankrate.com and calculate how long it would take your friend to pay off the credit card. Now, based on the fact that he has $10,000 as his balance, the rate is 21%, and he's paying $200 a month. If we were to look at that, then it would actually take him 119 months to pay off that credit card balance.
Wow, so it would take 10 years for him to pay off his credit card.
Yes. That's a long time.
Yes, it is.
And chances are your friend will not stop using the card. So that really isn't totally accurate. He'll probably get himself into a rat race by paying some of it down and then using the card again. And he probably doesn't even have extra money set aside for his emergencies or things that might come up. So he really is having some financial issues that will cause him more financial problems in the future.
That sounds serious.
Well, yes, it is. And it can be very serious. I mean, Mike, think about it. I mean, your friend makes a purchase of stuff that maybe costs $10,000. And over time, the true cost is actually, when we look at it, you take that $200, you multiply that by 119 months, and that's if he stops right now using it and just pays it off. Then if you were to calculate that, that actually would come to $23,800.
That's $13,800 extra for not important stuff he purchased to begin with. So I bet he did not think about that when he was making all those purchases.
Oh, I'm sure that he did not think about that. No one ever does. And this is a financial mistake that a lot of people actually make.
How can people avoid this financial mistake?
Well, having a credit card does make it easy to purchase things impulsively and to ignore the fact that people actually need to stay on a budget. People have to be careful and try not to use the card to purchase things they can't afford or know that they will not be able to pay off within a month. It's always a good idea to think, stop, and reflect before you start using your credit card. And what I mean by that, we got to think, is this, when you're making a purchase, is this something that you really need? Is it a necessity, or is it a luxury, or is it just something that you want? Then stop. Stop and think. Don't buy it if you can't afford it. Right? And reflect. How will you feel once you get this, whatever it might be? Will I pay it off within my next paycheck or within the month? And if the answer to those is no, then just don't make the purchase.
That is definitely a lot to think about, Renee. Now, what should I look for when I'm actually applying for a Visa or MasterCard?
Well, you'll need to review several factors when considering applying for a credit card, whether it is a Visa or MasterCard. First, you'll want to review the interest rate. You should shop around for the best rates by going on the internet and going to bankrate.com. Another option is to review the newspaper or call several banks, or even your current bank or a credit union, and see what they have as far as their credit cards are concerned.
Okay, so I don't actually pick up a phone and call Visa or MasterCard. I actually have to contact a bank.
Yes, Visa and MasterCards are issued by banks, so you'll need to contact a bank.
Is there anything else that I should know?
Yes, you'll want to know if there's an annual fee associated with the credit card. There could be an annual fee, but actually a small monthly fee, like $2, which would add up to be about $24 annually. So just double check and compare the fees.
Does it make a difference what card I get?
No, it does not matter. Either one is fine. A Visa or a MasterCard are the most popular and accepted throughout the U.S. and internationally. Discover is another card, but it's issued through Sears, and it is accepted at maybe 1/4 of the places that Visa and MasterCard are accepted at.
Okay, what other factors should I consider?
Well, the third factor to consider when choosing a credit card is actually the grace period.
Oh, why?
Well, some cards do not have a grace period and start charging interest immediately when a purchase is made or a cash advance is completed. Some cards actually allow that 25 to 30 days to pay off the purchase or a cash advance before you're actually charged interest.
I know my friend used his card for cash advances a lot. In fact, that's actually how he got his balance to $10,000.
Okay.
Are there any additional fees for all the cash advances that he did?
Yes, there are additional fees for cash advances, which are usually about 2% to 5% of the advance amount. Plus, the interest usually starts right away. So, reviewing the fees for cash advances is another factor to consider when applying for a credit card.
With all this information, are there actually any benefits to getting a credit card?
Yes, there's many benefits to having the credit card. They actually offer a lot of rewards and different incentives for the card. So that is another factor to consider and review.
Okay. What are some of these rewards or incentives?
Well, some cards will offer reward points, which can be used to get free products like electronics or even cash. There's all kinds of different incentives that they can offer.
Can you summarize a list of questions I should ask during my research on how to find the right credit card for me?
Yes, I can. You want to look at the interest rate and ask, what is the interest rate going to be? Is there an introductory rate, or is this the going rate? What are the fees associated with the card? So more specifically, is there an annual fee or a monthly fee? And then you'll also want to look at some of the other fees that would be associated with the card, and that could be an application fee, late fee. If you go over your balance, there could be another fee for that. There could be a fee for closing out the account or canceling the card, and of course what the fee would be for cash advances. Also want to ask, what is the grace period on the card, and are there other rewards or incentives that are associated with the card.
Okay, that is all very helpful. At this point, we've discussed debit cards, store cards, and credit cards. Are there any other cards out there?
Yes, there are. There's a secured card, and then there's also charge cards.
What is a secured card?
Well, let me explain how a secured card works. First, you will want to contact your local bank or your credit union and open up a savings account for $1,000 to $2,000. Then use that account as collateral for the secured card. You are able to use the card up to the limit, and then you can pay that off monthly. There are fees that are associated with that card too.
That actually sounds like you're just using your own money. Is there any actual advantages?
Well, it is another way to establish credit, but most people don't use it that way. It is usually used by people who have had credit that went bad, and they still need to have some type of a credit card for convenience.
Okay, now what is a charge card?
A charge card is considered a travel and entertainment card. This card requires the balance to be paid off monthly. An example of a charge card would be like American Express or a Diners card. These cards actually have an annual fee too, and it's usually between $35 to $250.
Why would I want a card like that?
Well, you probably don't want one like that right now, but you might not be able to qualify for it at this point either. These cards are typically issued without a spending limit, whereas credit cards always have a specified credit limit that the card holder may not exceed. So some people like having this type of a card because it's prestigious to have it. Most people who have this type of a card are maybe business owners who do a lot of travel or use the card a lot for business expenses. Plus there's a lot of rewards and perks and privileges with this card.
Well, there should be.
I do agree with you on that. There should be. And there are many rewards and perks and privileges for using this type of card. I know the American Express offers travel insurance, which helps to make sure that when you travel, whether it is for vacation or for business, that it actually goes well and goes smooth by providing all types of insurance.
Like what?
Well, they offer travel cancellation insurance, global medical insurance, air flight, which actually covers accidental death or injury. And the accidental death is usually for like $100,000. There's global baggage protection insurance, along with trip delay insurance. There's all kinds of things that can happen while you're traveling. They even offer car rental insurance if you use your American Express card.
Those are quite a lot of insurances that I didn't even know existed.
Yes, yes. There are. And American Express, a lot of people don't realize that they paid out millions of dollars after 9/11 to families who have lost loved ones or had been injured after the tragedies.
I did not know that.
Many people aren't aware of that fact, but they did because they had the death or the serious injury protection insurance that they had purchased when they used their American Express card for their tickets. There are many benefits and perks of using the American Express card. Not that I want to sound like a commercial for American Express, but I know one benefit is that if you accumulate reward points for every dollar that you spend, that these points actually add up. I know personally that I was able to use like $400 towards like Home Depot or Walmart, Apple Store. One time I actually locked my keys in my truck and I was able to call up the representative on the card, told her what happened, and they had a locksmith came out and took care of getting my keys for me. And do you remember the time when we had the rain and the snow at my house and the ground became very soft and actually rather muddy?
Yes, I do remember.
Well, I know that one day that you went to use my Thunderbird at the time and backed up on the yard, and actually it got stuck.
Oh, yes, I remember. I kept backing up and trying to go forward, making the issue only worse, and just got your car stuck in the yard.
Yep, it was pretty stuck in the middle of the yard, and even though we tried to get it out, all type of attempts, it just wasn't going to happen. I called up the American Express people, talked to the rep, and they had a tow truck come out and actually pulled that car right up out of there.
Well, I'm glad they did that because there was really no other way to get the car out of your yard.
No, there wasn't.
Are there any other charge card stories that you would have to share with us today?
No, I think that's going to take care of it for today. Let's recap what we actually learned today. We have learned that there are several types of ways to establish credit. We have discussed the differences between revolving credit and installment credit. We have discussed the difference between a debit card, secured card, credit card, charge cards, or travel and entertainment cards. That concludes our program today on the different types of credit and how to establish credit and maintain credit. I would like to thank Mike Wolf for being with us today. Thank you, Mike, for being here.
You're welcome. I learned a lot today.
I'm glad you did. Thank you. I hope that you have found this to be informative and educational. And if you have any questions, please contact me at moneyconceptsforlife@gmail.com or visit the website at moneyconceptsforlife.com. Thank you, and remember, education is the key to success.
Something funny about cartoon money tucked into my billfold. That kind of money, well, it ain't worth nothing, nor so I have been told.